I'm in elementary school because I am of a certain age. I have here an Apple IIe. This is the first Apple IIe I've ever had. Kind of hard to see from this point of view. Maybe if I scooch this up a little bit, yeah, you can kind of see it poking. It's got a little bit of a brown space bar. But worse yet, we have a busted 1 key. Now, I've already done something handy here, but over here, you might not be able to see, but the stem is busted. I have pulled the stem out of the center of the keycap by drilling into it with a very small drill, very slowly pulling it out. Where I'm going to start is I'm going to get this repaired with a new 3D printed stem and see if that works. And then I am going to clean this thing off. Then we're going to do a little boot up check. So, with my 1 key, I'm going to put that off to the side, and let's open it. The Apple IIe was kind of cool, in a way. Now, of course, I'm, a bit of a Commodore guy, but I can acknowledge that the Apples definitely seemed more professional. At the very least, compared to my Commodore 64 growing up, the Apple IIe was kind of cool because it had expansion. Now, it was weird, like most things Apple, but you had multiple slots. There were assumptions about certain slots, and it really didn't have much built in. Like, on its own, it could output video, it could take a joystick, it had the ability to connect a cassette, I guess. That's kind of it. Just really quick, what we have here, this is a partially expanded machine. The memory expansion is missing from the machine because there's an issue with it. In here we have a parallel interface, a serial interface, a mouse interface, a disk interface, and a clock card. The Apple IIes, there was nothing to secure these cards into place, so they're just hanging out in these slots, and anything that requires something on the back plate would have these cables sticking off, and then the port would be on the back. I wonder if I can actually show you that. I'm sure if you're watching this, you already know. Yeah, there we go. So as you can see in the back here, I have a little adapter on the disk interface to allow me to connect to disk 2 because I was experimenting with some. Over here is the mouse port. Over here is serial. And right here is the parallel port. Down at the bottom, you can see the paddle joystick interface, cassette in and out, and then composite video out. Anyway, time to get this thing taken apart. So to get the top case off, I think there are screws on the underside. And I think it's these. So actually over here, I think these have to come off too. So we have the 3 up top, we got 3 along the side, and 3 on the bottom, which you can't see right now. One thing that's important to know, though, is that these 4 are actually for keeping the power supply in, and since I have no interest in removing that right now, I'm going to leave those in place. So since this is up here, we're going to start down here. For those who want to see them, they're nice long screws. They are self-driving, which fascinating. A surprisingly Commodore move. It's good to know that these screws all seem to be the same size. While that removes, hopefully this just pops off. Look at that. Go ahead, and what you'll see here on the side is that the keyboard ribbon has to be removed. And in our case, this is the part I actually don't need. So, put this off to the side. And now I have just the top case. So, upside down it goes. Now it's starting to look like a pet down here. So with that free, I'm going to take off the 4 screws in here. Those 2 are all the same size, although they are different. So I'm going to see that. They are round head machine screws. And this should just lift off. And look at that. So I will probably take the opportunity now to clean this, now that it can be. Now the keyboard is free. Kind of debating this thing, giving this thing a full clean. I wonder how much of a pain that's going to be. So these switches are self-contained, so unlike working on, again, Commodores, there's no springs that I have to worry about. It's just pulling off these keys. But I'm going to have to pull out this key switch. So I think I'm probably going to remove everything, but here's the thing about this thing. Unlike a lot of other keyboards, this and this are pretty married up. Now, this has screws, which is great, but the key switches, let's see if I can get this to zoom in. Look at that. All right. So I'm a little wobbly here, but you can see the keys on top are connected to key switches. Key switches are here, and then they are direct soldered to the back. So even if you unscrew these pieces, you're still not separating this until you unsolder everything. Not going to do that. What I'm going to do instead is I am going to remove all these keys, but I'm only desoldering this key switch. Well, good thing that's getting disassembled. What we need to do now is get this keycap taken care of. So it looks like it's these two right here. I'm gonna see if I can grab this with a chip puller. Yeah, that worked really well. So, what you'll be able to see here, there are 2 pins here and this clip up here. Now how this is supposed to work is that these bend away, and I should be able to take this assembly apart. I'm going to take a flathead, separate it into 2, then do the other side. There we go. And just like that, it's separated. There's my key stem, spring, set it here. We've got this long stem, we've got another type of long stem, and we have this short stem. And what we have here is, yeah, it's a long stem, not a short stem. So, fairly thick, fairly thin. Let's test fit. It fits very snug. This really doesn't want to go in. So I'll go with this one. After all that, the one key is not quite level. I think I'm gonna have to shave that down, but at least it's on. Now, the Apple IIe is not entirely NTSC compliant, so this looks wicked on my converter. But the system will come. So now my questionable 80 column card. So, bit 3 is jacked. So, pretty simple card. We have your 8 bits. We got a 245. We have a 374. I'm making a guess here that similar to the internal RAM, the bits are counted backwards. So, even though this says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then it's actually 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, if I don't knock this around, it should be this chip. Which means this chip. Not really, this chip. There it is. Time to go play. Thanks for watching.